Good morning. It's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself. Today I want to talk about fatigue and chronic fatigue syndrome and anyone who has fatigue as a major symptom in your illness. Because often fatigue is a byproduct, but those who are suffering with specifically chronic fatigue know how exhausting you can feel. Okay, so even lifting a glass, walking to the bathroom, just breathing feels like you're on the verge of collapse, like you're not even going to be able to have enough energy to do this. Of course, there's many different aspects to something of chronic fatigue or a major symptom of fatigue. But I want to talk about the mind-body connection to fatigue for a minute. So let's talk about that little voice inside our head. The one that is constantly talking, the one that never stays quiet. You know, you can get up and that voice says to you, oh my gosh, you forgot to do this. You got to do this. You have a little voice inside your head. You're sitting down, maybe you're watching TV and you're saying, oh my God, I shouldn't be watching TV. I should be getting up and doing those dishes. Oh my God, I don't feel like doing the dishes tonight. Maybe what if this? You have all these random thoughts about the day going through your head. And then you have thoughts about your past, like memories that come up, conversations that you're having with people in your head, worries about the future. Your brain is constantly going. And not only is your brain constantly going, but that continual voice inside your head is continually talking. And this leads to exhaustion, okay? So everyone knows that you can have a major busy day at work, if you've ever had one of those, where you're doing something really mentally taxing. Maybe you work from home. Maybe you don't even leave the house. Maybe you're in your pajamas. You get up, you go into the office. Let's imagine this scene. And you have some high-pressured meetings, conversations where you have to be continually talking for the next 3 to 4 to 5 hours, where you have a lot of talking going on and a lot of information passing back and forth. By the end of that day, you can be so exhausted and so drained. Everyone knows that. You could have a headache. You could be so exhausted that you flop into bed. So everyone knows this exists. And that person didn't even exercise. They lifted nothing heavier than a coffee cup. They didn't walk. They didn't get a break. They didn't go outside and do cardio. So what made them so tired? It was the mental energy that they exerted, right? Now, because they're doing it out loud and it took a lot of brain power, they're able to say, yeah, it was the mental energy. Yes, I was talking a lot. I was thinking a lot. I understand. It's just really exhausting. But now if that person sits on the office, okay, they're not in front of their computer. There is no work. They're sitting on the couch, they have chronic illness, they have chronic disease, and they're sitting on the couch all day long, appearing to be doing nothing, not walking, not lifting heavy things, not working, not scrambling, and having all these important meetings, but just sitting there. But if they are sitting there and inside their head, their voice is talking, and then their other voice is answering, and it's a continual, non-stop flow of thoughts and conversations in your head. By the end of the day, you might say, I have no idea how I can be so exhausted. I wasn't outside. I wasn't running. I wasn't lifting heavy things. I wasn't at work. I wasn't mentally in meetings all day. I didn't even talk to anyone. How can I be exhausted? I literally sat here on my couch. So by now, I hope you're getting the answer. The brain, the voice inside your head, just because you don't say it out loud, doesn't mean you're not saying it. So if you're on the phone and you're having a full conversation, but the words are coming out, or if you're silent and you're having that exact same conversation, but the words are going on in your head. So stop for a minute and I want you to say, hello, 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 in your head. It took the same amount of mental energy to say it out loud as it did in your head. You still heard it, you still use the energy to produce those thoughts. So thoughts are energy and they're wearing you out. If you're suffering from chronic fatigue syndrome, if you're suffering with fatigue as a major part of your illness and you can't understand why you're fatigued, you're getting a really good diet, you've checked your mineral levels, you're not low in iron, you're wondering what is making me so exhausted? Let's consider that voice in our head that never stops. So the voice in your head is saying stressful things because it's not just saying, oh, maybe I should do the dishes, maybe I shouldn't. It's saying, oh my God, I'm never going to heal. What if I never heal? This pain hurts so much. Oh my gosh, this feeling is so terrible. No one understands me. This happened. I mean, you are replaying major traumatic memories. You're playing catastrophic worries for your future. Continual worry and stress level, anger, sadness, grief, jealousy, shame, guilt, these feelings that are going on internally and the conversations you're having about this are draining. They're some of the most draining things if you were to be saying these out loud to people. Have you ever had a conversation or a fight with somebody, a spouse, and you end up crying, you end up, hashing it right out. You're crying, you're saying all these things out loud, but at the end of the fight, you're exhausted. You're totally exhausted. You're relieved. You feel a sense of relief after getting it all out, but you're tired. This is the conversation that is going on inside you all day long. Catastrophic worries about the future. Never-ending what ifs. Regrets, grief, shame, guilt from the past. Deep sadness, deep loss, worry, anger. The list goes on, right? What if I'm never going to heal? Oh my God, this hurts. A lot of times we use our energy to rail against our symptoms, against our pain, against our physical symptoms. We fight ourselves. We spend all day saying, don't feel that way. Don't say that way. You just thought a negative thought. Now you're going to be sick forever. We berate ourselves. We tell ourselves, basically, this is why you're not going to heal. You're lazy. Get up, go for your walk, do this, do that. You criticize yourself. You look in the mirror and you say you're fat, or you're ugly, or you're this, or you're that. You constantly put yourself down. Tell yourself you're not enough. Tell yourself you're not going to heal. Criticize the job that you're doing on trying to heal. Judge it. Criticize it. Complain about it. Compare it to other people. I mean, you're busy in there. Your mind is busy. And these are not just, random thoughts that you're thinking, about the color of the sky. You're thinking some major things that cause a lot of stress. They cause emotions. They cause adrenaline and cortisol. They cause different hormones to literally be produced in your body. The workout that you are having is far greater than if you were outside and walking a 5 miles a day, or lifting heavy things at the gym. This mental exercise that you're doing every day and living in is equivalent to a marathon. And while yes, it's true, sometimes when we do a lot of physical things, or we don't have a lot of physical energy, then we need to rest. Our physical body needs to rest. But sometimes the opposite is true, and most times it is. When we've mentally drained ourselves, we need to mentally rest. When we've emotionally drained ourselves, we need to emotionally rest. So if you're not out there physically draining yourself every day, it's unlikely that the physical rest is going to be the thing to heal you. If you're out there, doing an intense workout, or doing an exercise program, or pushing yourself physically in some way, then yeah, maybe you need to physically rest. But my guess or my hunch is that you need a mental rest from your mental thoughts, or you need an emotional rest from your emotional feelings. You need to emotionally and mentally rest from the continuation of pushing yourself in these areas. If you think you're going to heal chronic fatigue syndrome by sitting on the couch and resting all day, you've got another thing coming. You're literally sitting on the couch, not distracting you from your thoughts in any way, and you're focusing all your energy on something that is so mentally, emotionally, and psychologically draining that it drains you physically. You might as well get up and cook that meal, do those dishes, take that walk, do those physical things, go to the gym, get involved in life. It will be less exhausting. It will be less exhausting than sitting with your own thoughts constantly, day in and day out, because they're burning you out. What I would suggest is put on a funny podcast. Put on a light, funny show that grabs your attention as you're doing the dishes, as you're walking around the house, as you're folding laundry. Something that's not mentally draining, something that doesn't make you think of your own situation and 1,000 different ways to beat up on yourself, or criticize yourself, or worry about the future or what's happening. Just put on something light, an interesting, funny fiction book, or a funny podcast about whatever. something that's going to take your attention. You don't have to think. Your mind is pretty much engaged in something else rather than your own thoughts. It still takes energy to listen, but you don't have to talk. That would be good as you go on your walk. You're going to be at the end of that walk no more tired than you would be if you sat at home on your couch with full capacity on your mental problems, all the issues in your life that are causing your energy to be drained. But of course, the best thing would be to sit in meditation, to really be able to silence the thoughts, to be able to have that pause, right? So if you're listening to guided meditation and you're at home and you're really working to unwind, to de-stress, or you're taking a hot bath and you're listening to a guided meditation, which, you're not going to be perfect at it, but you're really going to lower the intensity and the concentration of the running thoughts that are going at warp speed and never stop and are draining you. That is going to be the best thing that you can do. So make sure that you're making time for meditation in your life. Make sure that you are trying to eliminate that thinking. Make sure that you are substituting all the stress, the stressful thoughts, for things that are non-stressful. Stressful news programs for comedy shows. Brain or thought-provoking podcasts for light, silly ones. Have some silliness, have some downtime, have some play, have some joy in that life. It's going to give you a mental break, and this is going to give you more energy. The way that you get your energy back is not by conserving all of it from physical things. It's by conserving it from all of the mental and emotional turmoil that you're going through. And that is hard to do. That's one of the hardest things to do. But that's one of the major reasons why people struggle so long with chronic fatigue syndrome. Yes, there's a physical element to it. However, the thoughts in your mind are not helping. The pace at which your mental and emotional and spiritual world are draining you on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a minute by minute and second by second basis is astounding. So I just wanted to put that out there as a reminder. I hope everyone is going to be having a great day, doing something to recharge yourself, to get energy back with things that you love, funny things, family, close connections, anything that adds to your life will add to your energy. So go ahead and try some of these things. Don't be afraid to bring energy to your life with energizing feelings, with energizing activities, with things that you love. You are strong enough for those, and those will help to energize you. They won't put you into a crash. You know what things are going to put you into a crash. It's all these thoughts that you're having. It's the things that you feel like you have to do but don't want to do. It's that walk you feel like you have to take but don't want to take, right? It's the function that you have to go to, not want to go to. You're not going to be drained of your energy by doing something that you really, truly want to do and is going to bring joy to your life. That's something that's going to give you energy. So that's energy and love giving. That's life giving. So be honest with yourself. Is there a reason why you really don't want to do that thing, right? What do you want to do? What would add a little bit of joy? Do that. Do that. Start to bring energy to your life. Lift your fatigue with things that make you feel good, with things that give you energy, things that you actually enjoy, things that you actually want to do. Not that you have to, not that you should, but things that you truly want to do. Do with them. They won't be draining. Okay, so just a reminder, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Hit the like button, share it, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.